Hello, class. We have been talking a little bit about sentences, and today, beginning this week and this whole week, we are going to talk a little bit more about them and learn a little bit more about the sentences. Remember, we always begin a sentence with a capital letter and we always end it with a period. And so I am going to switch the camera so that you can see my little dry erase board, and we are going to practice some things with sentences. My face will disappear, but you'll see my dry erase board. I am going to write two things on my dry erase board, and then we're going to talk about them. While I write them, watch how nice and neat I make my letters. I try to stay within the lines, just like when I color. When we color, we want to stay in the lines, and we want to stay in the lines when we write as well. So that is one thing, and we will talk about what it says in a minute. Here is the second one. And it's going to have a few more words in it, and it's going to look a little bit different. And I ran out of room over here, which you will see when I adjust my thing. So I'm going to finish it right down on my next line. If we run out of room on one line, we just go right on to the next one. Okay, look at this first one. It says, our teacher. Does it begin with an uppercase, a big letter, or is it a lowercase letter? This is a lowercase letter. Remember, sentences always begin with an uppercase letter. Let's look at this one. Our teacher reads a story. So this, what I wrote in black, is a sentence. It starts with a capital letter and it ends with a period. But that's not the only thing that makes a sentence important. It has to talk about someone. In this case, it's talking about our teacher. That's who it is talking about. And it also has to tell what the person is doing. Our teacher reads. Reads is the action word. It tells what the teacher is doing. So if you have a sentence that says the name of a person, our teacher, and what they do, then it's considered a sentence. It starts with a capital letter and it ends with a punctuation. In this case, it's a little period there. Okay, we are going to erase this and we're going to look at some others. And I'm going to pause the video while I write them, and then I'll be right back. Look at these things that I wrote. Let's look at the first one. The teacher. Does it speak of a person? Yes, it talks about the teacher. Does it tell us what the teacher does? No, all it says is the teacher. It doesn't tell us anything about the teacher. So that is not a sentence. It doesn't have an action word that tells us what the teacher's doing. It does not begin with a capital letter, and it does not have any type of punctuation at the end. Let's look at this one I wrote in black. Now, some of these words you know. 3 of these words are your sight words, counting the one we learned today. What's this word? I And the word I is always capitalized, isn't it? Go, what's this? To the stall. So let's read that together. Ready? I go to the stall. So, does it name a person? Yes, it names I. Does it give an action for something I is doing? Yes, go. Now we could stop the sentence there. We could just say, I go. And that's a sentence because it has a person and it has an action. But to the stall gives us a little bit more information about where the person is going to go. So it starts with a capital letter. It ends with a period. It has a person in it and it has an action word in it. It is a sentence. Look at this next one. Some of these are our sight words too. Do you remember what this word is? We play in the park. Read that with me. Ready? We play in the park. So, who is the sentence about? We. That means you and at least one other person. We. What is we doing? Or what does we do? We play. So it's met two of the criteria. It talks about a person and it tells what they're doing. Does it begin with a capital letter? Yes, it begins with an uppercase W. Does it end with punctuation? Yes, it ends with a period. It is a sentence. Now, let's go back to this one that was not a sentence. And let's watch how we can make it a sentence. Right now, it says the teacher. Let's write the teacher down here, but we're going to add some action and we're going to make it a sentence. Down here, I wrote the teacher again, just like we had the teacher up here, but I added to it. The teacher, I'm going to scoot it down because the light is shining on it, and I'm going to move this up here out of our way. The teacher writes on the board. Now let's see if it's a complete sentence. Does it speak about somebody? Yes, it speaks about someone. It speaks about the teacher. Does it tell what the teacher's doing? Yes, the teacher writes. Writes is the action word. So it's met two of the criteria. Now, does it begin with a capital or uppercase letter? Yes. The T is a capital T. Does it end with a punctuation? This little dot right here is a period, so it ends with a punctuation. The teacher writes on the board. Does it make sense to us? Yes, it's complete. It tells us who's doing the writing and it tells us what the teacher's doing. She writes on the board. Thank you for doing sentences with me today, boys and girls.